Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be about the time that I hooked up with a straight sheriff. So if you guys want to hear about this story, then keep on watching. So to start off, guys, and if you see me looking over, I am looking at my notes because I want to make sure I get all the details in this story. So I moved into this apartment in April, and that's around the time that I met this guy on Grindr. So it was about the first week that I moved into this apartment, and I was bored, and I decided to get on Grindr and just message some guys and see who was around here. So I had met this guy who was in his mid-30s, and you guys know I like guys in their 30s. That's usually what I go for, is guys in their 30s. It just seems to be a good experience most times with guys in their 30s. Anyway, so I had started talking to this guy around 6 p.m. and I think it was like a Tuesday, and the guy had told me that, let's just say this guy's name is John. So John had told me that he was just visiting, and that's usually a red flag for me. I usually just forget about the guys that are visiting, quit messaging them and just move on. Let them know why, of course, but usually I'll just move on if they're visiting because I don't want to risk catching feelings or anything like that. Anyway, the particular night that I was messaging John, I didn't have any feelings attached or anything. I really just wanted to hook up. So we had been talking a little bit, and I learned a little bit about him. He told me he hadn't ever hooked up with a guy. This was going to be his first time if it were to go through with it, and a little nervous. So at this point, after about an hour of talking to him, I had finally just told him, hey, I'm not really interested. I think we can maybe move on, and you can probably have fun with somebody else other than me, because of the red flags that I had been seeing. After that, he had started almost begging me to come over. I was like, oh, okay. And this was after he told me that he was visiting for a convention, a law enforcement convention. So he didn't tell me he was a sheriff until I actually got to his hotel that he was staying at. And that really, it didn't freak me out or anything, but it kind of took me back, because I've had a long history of running into trouble with law enforcement, especially when I was a teenager. Anyway, so that kind of formulated my opinion to those who work in law enforcement. I had felt some type of pull towards him, something was pulling me towards him. It was hard for me to make the decision to not go and meet with him. So something spiritually or mentally was definitely pulling me towards him. So I told him, I'll come over as long as you get my Uber there and back. And it was only maybe 2 miles away. He was pretty close. It wasn't a big trek or anything like that. So he got my Uber there. So right when I got there, I could tell that he was extremely straight and extremely excited as well. He was acting like a kid in a candy shop. He really was. He couldn't keep his hands off me practically. He kept grabbing me, kept hugging me, kissing me, stuff like that, and he really didn't even know me. Anyway, I could tell that he was excited, and it was very obvious that this was his first time being around with a guy. And I was pretty nervous because I didn't want to make a wrong move, or I didn't want to make a mistake or anything like that, or embarrass myself. So I was very careful in the way that I came on to him, and I was kind of playing hard to get in a way. Because honestly, I was pretty tired. He practically begged me to come there, guys, and it was 11 at night on a Tuesday. or whatever day it was, and it was just like, I was just tired. I was just along for the ride, I guess. So another thing I noticed about him was that he was very friendly. He wasn't rude, he wasn't really like to the point or anything like that. He was just very careful in what he said and very mindful of how I was feeling and my comfort level and everything like that. And that's something I really appreciated about him. He did tell me that he had a girlfriend back home and that she knew that he had curiosity on, you know, to mess around with other guys and stuff like that, which made me feel a little more comfortable, but also kind of weirded me out. So we started messing around and everything, and we pretty much did a home run. And at the end, I got that feeling that he really got what he wanted. And as a guy, I can understand that, because after sex, guys usually get really tired and like expended, so the first thing we want to do is just kind of lay down and rest or watch TV or something like that. So I understood where he was coming from. So again, guys, that was back in May. So right now it is November. So it's been months and months and months since that happened, and we haven't talked since. But it was a pretty enjoyable experience, and it was really surprising that he was a sheriff, because sheriffs are like the CEOs. Like they're not just cops. They're like the cops that you don't want to get pulled over by. They're the big guys, you know, the big kahunas. So I was kind of like, whoa. I think labels like that kind of emphasize my attraction towards certain people. Another thing I learned after that experience was that straight guys really can be nice, and as humans, we really just want to experiment and see what value something can give us. So I really got the experimental vibe out of him. Like I didn't get any vibes that he was gay or attracted to guys like that. I just think that he wanted to experience being with a guy. So at the end of the ordeal, he was almost pushing me out of the door, but almost like trying to get me to stay at the same time, if that makes sense. I could tell that he didn't really want to just hang out alone for the rest of the night. Like he wanted me to hang around and just talk, and he wanted to get to know a little bit more about me, but I was just kind of not beating around the bush, but more like, you know, I kind of wanted to go. I wanted to go back home. Anyways, overall, the experience was really memorable. I'll always remember that experience for the rest of my life. But it's really important for us young gay guys to be extremely careful online, especially Grindr, when meeting complete strangers in real life, because we see it on the news, we see it on the internet. People are literally getting abducted and disappearing. So it's very important to stay mindful of your surroundings and listen to your intuition, because it's crazy out here. It really is too crazy out here, and you guys have to be careful. Really, really, really. The experience overall was positive and enjoyable, but it's still crazy to me that I hooked up with a sheriff that was here for a work convention. Like, that's crazy to me. And yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments section. Also, like this video if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video, along with my other videos, guys. I upload 2 videos a week, so please stay tuned, and yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.